So we'll try searching in 3 resources for EBP materials, and in this video, we'll explore Cochrane Library, which is an excellent source for filtered information, specifically systematic reviews, or Cochrane reviews, as they call them. We suggest searching in Cochrane first for a few reasons. First, finding a systematic review is like a gold standard in EBP research, so may as well start at the top, essentially. Sadly, the likelihood of finding a systematic review in Cochrane on your subject is, well, it's quite low, but it's still worth a try, especially for our second reason for starting in Cochrane. It has a PICO search feature that can help you add synonyms or additional keywords to your search terms. So it can be nice to start there as you are still working out the terms you'd like to search. You can access Cochrane Library through the A to Z database list on the Park University Library website. So to get there, click Databases. Then in the database title keyword search bar on the left, search for Cochrane. Or you can click the small capital C and scroll down to find and select Cochrane Library. So once you selected the database title from the list, select Access Database. Then click Cochrane Library under the search bar on the right side of the landing page. Once you're in Cochrane Library, you will see the title on the right upper corner of the screen. We can try out that PICO search function first. Click Advanced Search link under the search bar on the upper right side of the screen, under the search bar. Then select the PICO search tab. What's nice about the PICO search tab is that as you type in your keywords, it'll suggest relevant terms that you may have not considered. You can also label each term with what part of your PICO question it is, and you don't have to worry about Boolean modifiers or operators. For example, let's use our PICO question in adult female patients with mild depression. How effective is fluoxetine or Prozac compared to cognitive behavioral therapy in controlling mild depression symptoms? On the PICO search, I can start by adding our first term, mild depression. As you type, you can see that the options will auto-populate in a drop-down menu underneath the bar. Mild depression will most likely be your top result, but feel free to scroll through the options like depression, postpartum depression, and other terms, and see if anything else maybe feels relevant to your search. You may find you can expand or narrow your search further using those suggested terms. For this example, I'm going to stick with mild depression in the top search bar, and it has auto-selected population next to that search bar. So often it'll give you options, but in this case, it assumed correctly. I can click the plus sign under the search bar to get the next search bar. Then I can type in women, since we're only concerned about women. And notice when I type in women, we're getting a suggestion for women use female. So instead of sticking with women, I select that suggestion, and female appears in the search bar. Population is selected at the end of the search bar. I click that plus sign again and enter fluoxetine on the next line. In that line, I'm given an option to select either intervention or comparison, since it could be both. I'm going to select intervention since that is what we're looking at in this PICO question. I again click the plus sign, and in the next line, I begin to type cognitive behavioral therapy. Notice there are a lot of variations of this. And then when you see lots of variations, don't be afraid to use them all, or even just take note of them to use in a later search. If you want to add them to your search here, you can select your initial search term in the current search bar and then add a new line, and then change the Boolean operator for that line, which defaults to and, change that to or, and then select the next search term you'd like. You can do that as many times as you want. So for the sake of this example, I'm going to use cognitive behavioral therapy in the current search bar, and then I'm going to select comparison for the options on the right. Then I'm going to add a line, change the Boolean operator to or, and include generic cognitive behavioral therapy as well. I'll select comparison again at the end of the line. In our last line, we need to enter our outcome. The outcome we're looking at is symptom control. It can be almost as tricky to describe our outcomes terms while searching as it is to search using our time frame, and we don't even bother searching time frame since it's so tricky. So in this instance, I'm going to try some terms like depressive symptom control and see what Cochrane suggests. I'm going to use depressive disorder in remission and depressive symptoms and label both outcome. Then I'm ready to search, remembering that the likelihood of finding a Cochrane review, which takes a long time and it's very labor intensive and they're very expensive to produce, is very low. And I got no results. Sad. But I did work out additional terms for my search, and I've double checked that I'm not missing what most likely is the best possible evidence to answer my question. So to double check I'm not missing anything, sometimes I use the regular search terms I formulated in the regular advanced search bar. From the PICO search tab, I can click the search tab on the far left and then copy and paste a regular search string using some of the terms I've developed in the PICO search, like mild depression and women or female and fluoxetine or Prozac and cognitive behavioral therapy and depressive symptoms or depression disorder in remission. I don't see any results under the Cochrane Review tab, again, sad, which is where we're focusing. You may find results under any of the tabs like the Trials tab, but remember, those aren't systematic reviews. Trials, for instance, are randomized control trials, and therefore they're unfiltered information. They don't carry the weight of a Cochrane review, but you could still explore any results you see there, and you can make the terms you've developed and continue looking for systematic reviews in PubMed and CNOL, which we'll explore in our next videos. Thanks for watching.